So many people in the last few months have been put under a hypnotic spell. Come on, we're bigger than this. We're infinite expressions of consciousness. What are we doing letting a handful of people dictate our lives down to the fine detail? Don't let people tell you what to say. Don't let people tell you what to think. Don't let people tell you what to do. All these 1%ers are funding these groups that think they're challenging the 1%. They know that is going to bring them down. That's why they don't want us talking about it. I've been trashed and ridiculed and abused for 30 years. And I'm sitting here now, stronger than ever. You don't have to run away and hide. You can speak your truth and people will react to it as they will. It's so important that we do not give our power away by perceiving ourselves as victims. Once you consider yourself a victim, what you're saying is, I don't have power over my life anymore. Something or someone else does. And so you are accepting that you are powerless and they are powerful in relation to you. So you say to someone, who are you? They might say, I'm a white man from Barnsley who used to work in the mines. No, that's what you have experienced. That's not you. You are the consciousness that had the experience. You, the I, the eternal I, the true I, are the consciousness having that experience, which will move on when that experience is over. Don't call yourself black. I don't call myself white. I don't self-identify with white. So once you self-identify the I with a label, the cult has already got you. Because now you're seeing yourself in incredibly limited terms. And what they've been doing systematically is manipulating people into smaller and smaller minutiae of self-identity. What does all lives matter say? It says we are one. Everyone is equally valid. What is that doing? It's bringing people together. Unity. What is the worst nightmare of a global cult seeking to impose its will on humanity? Unity. Harmony, coming together. When we reach the point where saying all lives matter is considered racist, you know you're in a crazy place. What the cult wants us to do is to go into this group judgment, because then they can divide and rule the target population. What the cult wants to create is a jungle atmosphere, a jungle society, basically where there is no law. What the cult wants is upheaval, fear, and crime, anything that will create chaos and fear among the community. And one of the things they want is to get as many of the prisoners that should be in jail out of jail as possible and into society, so the chaos and the fear and the upheaval can manifest and grow. So many people in the last few months have been put under a hypnotic spell. And indeed, people are put through a hypnotic spell their entire lives. You go through the education system and then into the world of, where the media is telling you everything that you should believe and everything that's real and what have you. It's a hypnotic spell that's being cast on the human race. And when people talk about people waking up, what does that mean? It means they wake up from the trance. They wake up from the spell. When you can put out information that's putting a different angle on everything, what you're doing is breaking the spell. because the spell is basically all that anyone's ever heard. All mainstream sources, they're all sources of the spell. And when people hear other sources of information and other ways of looking at the world, it breaks the spell. And people say, I woke up. Yeah, you woke up from the trance that you've basically been put in since the day you were born. Authority that tells you what to believe and what to do and wants to give you consequences for not believing it and doing it. You acquiesce to that and you're giving your freedom away. Authority would have to serve the people and not the people serve authority, because the people will not acquiesce to being dictated to in ways that enslave it. Now, if we need a wake-up call on what happens when you give your power away to authority, then in the last few months you couldn't have had a more potent and blatant one. And come on, we're bigger than this. We're infinite expressions of consciousness. What are we doing letting a handful of people dictate our lives down to the fine detail? What are we doing policing each other? Saying that because you're making choices I don't agree with, I'm going to try to stop you making those choices, which is what the woke mentality is all about. We have an opportunity now to stop that. Will we make that choice? The consequences of the choice we make are going to be monumental in the different world they'll create. And we need to make those choices now. See, I don't fear any of these people. I don't fear them. I don't fear them. I don't fear the consequences of challenging them. Why? Because I self-identify as being an expression of infinite awareness, an eternal, indestructible, unique expression of infinite awareness. And at some point, I'm going to leave this body and I'm going to explore forever, as I have done in all my eternity, like everyone else. When you lose the fear of what other people think, because what you say is they have a right to think what they like, but so do I, then you're not limited by, if I say this, if I do this, what will people say? What will they say on social media? And it's an incredible freedom, and it frees you to speak your truth, whatever your truth is. In so many ways, the greatest fears that people have, fear of what other people think. And I can tell you, stick with it, because they'll think something else tomorrow. And if you are censoring yourself by what you fear they will think today, they won't be thinking something else about you tomorrow, because you wouldn't have said here what is shown to be credible there. Speak your truth. If people around you cannot respect your right to speak your truth, then what are they doing around you? Go and find another circle of people who will respect your right to be you. Don't try to persuade people and win them round when they just don't want to know. Just go and find some people that you can talk to that will respect you. Because what are you doing with people who don't have the respect for your right to your unique opinion? What are you doing with them? Go and find some other people. There's lots now, especially now. Go and find them, you know. Don't let people tell you what to say. Don't let people tell you what to think. Don't let people tell you what to do. You decide if you think that's valid, then say it, do it, write it. But don't do it just because someone else tells you. That's how we got into this mess. It ain't the way we're going to get out of it. There's always a way. We are infinite awareness living within an infinite field of all possibility. There's always a way. And in every cloud, there's always a silver lining. It's fear that freezes people into inaction. Go for it. The one thing that is for sure is if you don't speak your truth, then the official narrative will go on being unchallenged and will go on in the direction we've been in. Time to speak your truth. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen?